welcome to my presentation of the poem Does It Matter by Siegfried Sassoon. I will start out by reading the poem aloud. Does it matter, losing your legs? For people will always be kind, and you needn't show that you mind when the others come in after hunting and gobble their muffins and eggs. Does it matter, losing your sight? There's such splendid work for the blind, and people will always be kind as you sit on the terrace remembering and turning your face to the light. Do they matter, those dreams from the pit? You can drink and forget and be glad, and people won't say that you're mad, for they'll know that you fought for your country, and no one will worry a bit. Now, the structure of this poem is 3 stanzas with 5 lines in each, and he starts out each stanza with 2 questions. The first 2 with does it matter, and the last one with do they matter. So in this way the poet uses anaphora, and also in the first and second stanza he uses the line for people will always be kind and people will always be kind, which is really similar sentences, though it has moved 1 line down in the second stanza. And the poem rhymes. If we take the last stanza, for example, we can see that the last word of the first line rhymes with the last word of the last line, and the second line and the third line also has a rhyme at the end. So the theme of this poem obviously being the aftermath of the war, the when you get home part of the war, when you are done with war and it has had consequences on you, and you get home and everyone needs to, like, you need to be integrated in the society again, and everyone you know has to like greet you and like they have to go around you and act as normal, but everything is not normal. So and we also get that impression by the words used, and the title itself is Does It Matter, which of course being a rhetorical question since it is not answered, but then again we kind of fill out the answer. So there are two answers. There are no and there are yes, and which one we get depends on how you read the poem, because if you just read what he wrote, then you will say, well, it's positive. It does not matter, because there's always something to do. You know, you're blind, and even if you have lost your legs, people will be kind. But there's also the no part. If you read like into the lines, you can see that the author has thought like they can just act normal, but that doesn't mean it's okay because you can't. And also this next part is particularly interesting. If you see here in the second stanza, he says, does it matter losing your sight? And then he continues with the last line, and turning your face to the light. This, of course, not being the actual light, since you cannot see that, being blind, but the hope of something being normal again, which it just cannot be. So we can also see by the poem that there are 2 distinct places in the poem, physically at least, and that's the terrace, which is the idealistic world where everything is great, and then we have the pit at the last stanza, which is where all the horror happened. And that's also where he's talking about the dreams from this horrible place, if they matter, because it is done now. The pit is not existing anymore. So do the dreams still matter? Like the dreams of getting home and everything becoming normal again, do they matter? Because you cannot get them anymore. Everything will not be normal. And that's the question we don't get answered. And his language in the poem is kind of informal. He uses these contractions like this one, needn't, And the questions, of course, too, makes this informal language. And then we have this specific part of the third stanza where he put the 3 dots after the second question, which gives this break to think about the question, like, do they matter, the dreams from the pit? So we get a little more time to actually think about that question and feel it in depth. So, thank you for your time. Have a nice day.